After 2 long years of playing this album, a lot, like a lot, I don't think I truly realized why I loved it so much till I saw Wallows live. From my very first listen to my last full listen as of yesterday evening, my reasoning for adoring Nothing Happens stems from its clear-cut explanation of how weird it is to be a teenager/young adult. All of these life-altering occurrences that seem to happen on a daily basis, from breakups, makeups, divorces, friend drama, embarrassing moments, you name it. It can seem like your life is over at the drop of a dime, when in actuality, it's just beginning. The album, while justifying those feelings, is also a reminder that the hard things in our early lives, whatever they may be, are just a part of your path. You grow, and you learn, and things end up how they're supposed to. My love for this album was solidified, but something that made it grow was seeing how much it meant to so many people universally. And watching thousands of people scream and get emotional for many of the songs performed that night, it really dawned on me that, yes, perhaps our circumstances are all different, but in those 38 minutes and 51 seconds, we're synonymous. Nothing Happens is and will always have a special place in my heart, as it truly saved my mental health on a number of occasions, reminding me that everything will truly be okay. And though the whole album does that for me and many others, 3 songs that really hone in on that message are Only Friend, I'm Full, and Do Not Wait. And we're going to break down those 3 songs today. Let's get it.
La 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 la.
It goes without saying how important an intro track is to an album, setting the pace for the LP not only musically but content-wise as well. Nothing Happens begins with a growing guitar riff that will ultimately become familiar with listeners as it makes another appearance on the record. As it reaches its peak, the journey begins. Only Friend, as mentioned before by the band, is heavily covering feelings of isolation and loneliness, but also a loss of innocence as they transition from teenagers to adults. Lyrics such as,
Too complicated, it's not the same anymore. You're through.
just dial in on that feeling of just wanting everything to stop for a minute or two, because the pressures that exist in this period of time can be severely overwhelming, as most, if not all, of these pressures, whatever they may be, didn't exist in our lives 2 to 4 years prior. Beginning the album with this song, I feel, was critically important because they planted so many seeds for what was to come for the rest of the record, musically, but also how listeners would interpret lyrics. And the answer to that is however you want to. To an extent, a lot of what's being said on Only Friend can be open to interpretation and can then really speak to you on a different level, as the possibilities of what this song could even mean to any listener is endless.
When it's all said and done, we need to.
This theme continues in our next song, and my personal favorite. I'm Full, You're Up.
Hit me once, hit again. Then I'm screaming at my friends 'cause I'm at it again.
For my very first listen of this album, I'm Full had been my number 1 song, and to be very honest, I had no idea what the song was about for a long time. It seemed so open-ended and unclear to me for quite a while. 2020 for most, if not all, was a very rough year, and my depression in the spring-summer of that year had peaked like it never had before. No distractions from the darkest of dark things going on in the world and in my personal life, and the only thing that would truly take me out of that was drugs. I was unhappy, dealing with a number of things in my life that I felt I could never talk to anyone about at the time, and I suppressed a number of sad, angry thoughts deep in my brain for no one to see except for myself. I eventually broke down from doing this for so long, and I'm thankful that I had that breakdown with my family. But the night prior, I had a private one that I have never told anybody about, and it was to I'm Full. High out of my mind, listening to the song, the open-endedness of this song that I was so used to and found so much comfort in began to close in on me, as for the first time I found the overall meaning of this song. For the first time hearing lyrics like,
Then I'm screaming in my head when I've got nowhere to go. Then I'm falling into bed on a high chemical low. And I know I'm bound to lose when I feel the need to use why I'm full.
actually clicked in my brain that they were talking about instead of coming forward and addressing the negative aspects of your life, you drown it out with bad habits like substance abuse. It being this loud and clear to me for the first time made me start bawling crying, as the song I resorted to for comfort began to reveal some hidden truths in my life, and I felt mentally naked. This feeling of mental nakedness drew me to asking questions to myself that I was so scared to answer for the majority of my life, and I was able to for the first time, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm full for a while was my way to hide my insecurities and personal issues for 3 minutes and 42 seconds. But ever since that day, it has become my reminder to progress, to be honest with myself, and not hide from all of the insecurities and the negative aspects of my life. It helped me grow. And for that, I'm forever in debt to not only this song, but this band. At its end, a number of sounds are being made. Overdrive from guitar amps, random banging of drums, sounds of chaos, if you will. All to dissipate into a calm yet dramatic bass synth of our last song, Do Not Wait. The 6.5-minute song is the cap of this expression of adolescence. Do Not Wait, unlike the other songs, refuses to hold back punches. It's straight to the point of the harder parts of this portion of our life, but also the good in hindsight, while saying lyrics like,
All the things you don't wanna let go, you wanna look back on and recall. All the times that feel like everything, and nothing really happens at all.
he reminds you it's going to be alright. He does this all throughout the song, and Dylan himself stating this as a letter to his younger self makes all the sense in the world, validating and stating his feelings that existed then. Eventually getting to the second chorus, musically, there's a build of sound. It's a little rougher on the edges, and while this is happening, a distinct heartbeat is increasing in speed, almost in my opinion simulating an anxiety attack of some sort. And then calmly resolving into an acoustic guitar. So many emotions can go through one listener's head in this first portion, and to get to this portion of the song almost feels freeing in a way. Almost free enough to just talk everything out. And Dylan took it upon himself to do just that. As he begins to list these things that he went through in his teenage life, he follows these statements with the phrase that we are all so familiar with now.
You can promise to your ex nothing happens. He has verified sex. Nothing happens. First time is humiliating. Nothing happens. Something you'll want to forget. Nothing happens. Your parents will eventually separate. Nothing happens. Dad's stuff in trash bags in the pool. Nothing happens. Oh, guess what? You have a sister now. Nothing happens. And as you go on and shit gets hard, don't worry about me.
And as the dust settles, the record is over. A familiar guitar riff appears. I've always thought of it as not only a loop of the album, but a constant loop of generations of teenagers going through similar things as Dylan, or Braden, or Cole, or even you and I. A constant loop of kids going through what feels like the end of the world. And now and forever they have an album that perfectly explains to them. Nothing happens.
Seasons.